Good morning, everyone, and I'm really sorry to hear that I won't be able to see you until May 1st, but maybe some of you can email me some good ideas on what you're doing to not get cabin fever while we're all kind of stuck in our houses. So with that late start that we're going to be having with school, I do want to start actually moving towards really solving those trig equations and then possibly moving forward. We'll see how that goes. So today we're going to be solving trig equations and talking about principal values versus one revolution versus all possible solutions. So in this case, they did say principal values. So when that happens, if you recall cosine of theta, if we have cosine of theta, then theta is limited to be between 0 and 180, or between 0 and pi, depending on if you're in degrees or radians. And then sine of theta, as well as tangent of theta, is going to be in quadrants 1 and 4. And so that's going to be from negative 90, less than or equal to theta, less than or equal to 90. So we want to keep that in mind anytime the directions say principal values. So we're going to go ahead and solve this. So the first thing we want to solve for is tangent of theta. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 4. So here the negatives and the 4 cancel, and here the 4's just cancel. And so we get the square root of 3 divided by negative 1 is going to be negative square root of 3, or we could call that negative square root of 3 over 1. So now that I have it down to tangent of theta, now I want to figure out what actual theta would be equal to. So when I draw my quadrants, again, let's look at the directions, and it does say principal values. So tangent is going to be limited to negative 90 to positive 90, which is quadrants 1 and quadrant 4. So that means these two quadrants are not available to us in this problem. So if all students take calculus, do we see that tangent would be positive in quadrant 1 and it would be negative in quadrant 4? So that means that this particular function is going to be in the 4th quadrant, or this triangle is going to be in the 4th quadrant, because my tangent is equal to a negative value. So my root 3 for tangent, that's going to be opposite, and the 1 is going to be adjacent. And so that means that opposite, the angle is going to be square root of 3, and adjacent is going to be 1. And in the case of the 4th quadrant, the y is negative because down is a negative direction. And then we're going to have a 2 here because I noticed that this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And opposite the root 3 would be the 60-degree angle. So we have two options. We can either discuss this angle going clockwise, or we can discuss the angle going counterclockwise. But if you notice, counterclockwise would be a 300-degree angle, and that's not in my interval for theta. So we actually want to use the clockwise one. And so clockwise is a negative direction, so we get negative 60 degrees. Now if I look at my directions again, it said that I wanted it in radians. So I'm going to multiply this 60 degrees by pi over 180. And when I reduce that, I'm going to get negative pi over 3. All right, so then moving forward, we're going to go ahead and try this one, and notice the directions have changed a little bit because it says that we want it in the first revolution. And so what that means is I might have more than one answer to this question. So first thing we're going to do is solve for sine of theta. So if I add 3 to both sides, I get negative 4 sine of theta is equal to negative 2. And then if I divide both sides by negative 4 and I reduce, we would get that the sine of theta is equal to positive 1/2, because the negatives would cancel. And so in this case, I don't have any restrictions on that first revolution because it says I can have any value from 0 to 360. So if all students take calculus, that means that sine is positive in the first and the second quadrant, which makes sense because sine is represented by y on the unit circle, and y is positive in those two quadrants. So we would have a triangle in the first quadrant and a triangle in the second quadrant. And then again, sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So my opposite is 1 and my hypotenuse is 2. So this again is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So this would be root 3 and this would be negative root 3. And the angle opposite the 1 is 30 degrees. So I do have two answers to this question. So I'm going to look at my quadrant 1 answer. And that is just going to be straight 30 degrees. And the question did say from 0 degrees to 360 degrees. So that implies we want the answer in degrees. For my quadrant 2 answer, do you see that it's 180 minus 30 degrees? Because my theta value is actually right here. So we're going to say that this is 180 minus 30. And that gives us 150 degrees, which is a quadrant 2 angle measure. All right, so then finally we're going to do one that says all real values of theta. So that means we're going to have infinitely many answers. And it says express your solutions in radians. So we'll keep that in mind as well. So if we go to solve this one, we can subtract 3 from both sides. And we get negative 4 cosine of theta is equal to negative 2. And then if we divide both sides by negative 4, we get cosine of theta is equal to 1/2. And so when we go to put this in our quadrants, if it's all possible solutions, we're going to look for the solutions in one revolution. And then when we're done, we're going to add 2 pi n to that to make sure that it's every possible coterminal angle to each of those answers. So if all students take calculus, we notice that cosine is positive in quadrants 1 and 4. And so I'm going to build triangles in those 2 quadrants, which makes sense because on the unit circle, cosine is represented by x, and x is positive to the right of the y-axis. And so cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So if my adjacent is 1, my hypotenuse is 2. And again, 30, 60, 90 triangles. So I've got up root 3 and I have down root 3. So in both cases, my angle is going to be 60 because that's the measure of the angle opposite the root 3. So when we talk about our quadrant 1 answer, it is 60 degrees, but they did ask for us to do this in radians. So if I multiply that by pi over 180, I end up with pi over 3. And so we would say pi over 3 plus 2 pi n, where n is an integer. And then in quadrant 4, let's see, this one would be, we're looking at this angle right here. So we would do 360 minus 60 to figure out the positive value of that angle, which is going to be 300 degrees. And then if I multiply that by pi over 180, I believe we get 5 pi over 3. And so we would say if that was in one revolution, we would be done. But this one did say all real numbers. So we're going to say 5 pi over 3 plus 2 pi n, where n is an integer. And so these are the 2 answers right here. And again, there's infinitely many because we included all the angles that are coterminal to those 2 angles. All right, so then here are my expectations for today. I would like you to complete the Solving Trig Equations Review Number 1 worksheet, which again, you can either print out and work on, or you can do it on a separate piece of binder paper. Once you've finished it, go ahead and check your answers with the answer key. Take the quiz's exit ticket, and you're going to have until 10 a.m. on Monday because I do want you to have the weekend off. So you can either finish it today and be done for the weekend, or you can finish it Monday morning, totally up to you. And then you're going to receive participation points as well as points for questions answered correctly. And know that I missed you all, and I can't wait to see you on May 1st.